again, everyone. I'm Paul the Nitro Scars, and welcome to another edition of the Nitro Corner, beating the heat wave to present you the best in professional wrestling news and entertainment. Coming up later on in the show, I'll talk about the Great American Bash that happened this past Tuesday, whether it still had that summertime event feel that was in the past Great American Bashes. But first, it's time for our 1CW update. 1CW proudly presents the Cavalcade of Champions, Saturday night, September 15th. The time of the event, the location, as well as ticket information have not been released as of this taping, but as soon as I get that, you'll be the first to know. Let's run down the lineup as is with the new added matches that I found out this week. You will see for the 1CW Tag Team Championships as the D-Line will defend their belts against a team they've been wanting to get their hands on for over a year, the Universal Tag Team Champions, the 800 pounds of mass destruction, the Nigerian Nightmares. Folks, after what happened in Camden, Wyoming last year, they've been dying to get their hands on each other for that period of time. That's going to be a tremendous event, a brawl of the first order for the Tag Team Championships. And then, Falls Count Anywhere. No disqualifications for the 1CW Cruiserweight Championship as the champion, Crazy Shay, now back in the Hardy faction, will defend his title against his hated rival, Chance Sevenfold. That will be another brawl of the first order in the no disqualification Falls Count Anywhere match at Cavalcade of Champions. Now, some other news this past week with 1CW. At the Cavalcade of Champions, we will see the return of the Last Warrior. You know him as Grey Wolf. That's right, Grey Wolf, the Last Warrior, will be back in 1CW's Cavalcade of Champions September 15th. More about who Grey Wolf will face when I get that information. And then the MWF Heavyweight Championship will be decided in an Indian strap match. Both men will be attached to the wrist by a 10-foot pure Indian leather strap. They can whip each other with it. They can use it for whatever reason. The only way to win is to drag your opponent to all four corners of the ring and touch each corner in succession. That is how the match will end. As Mike Height will defend the MWF Heavyweight Championship against Katori. Katori, of course, a true master of the Indian strap. And brother, it is going to be brutal when these two put on the Indian strap and have it at it for the MWF Heavyweight Championship. And then a six-man tag team matchup. You will see the All Team USA featuring the return of the All-American, the Patriot, teaming up with Braden Knight and a mystery partner with a surprise manager to take on the Hardy faction. Now at this time, as of this taping, I do not know who the mystery opponent is, nor do I know who this surprise manager is, but you can bet the Hardy faction is all up in arms over these two big surprises that Team USA will bring at the Cavalcade of Champions. And that is your 1CW report. Don't forget the Cavalcade of Champions, Saturday night, September 15th. We'll have more information about that in the weeks to come right here on the Nitro Corner. Now, let's talk about our subject for this week. The Great American Bash was the theme this past Tuesday on SmackDown. And the question is, does it still have that same summertime event type of feel as in the previous Great American Bashes that the NWA did? Well, the obvious answer is no. But as far as being in the WWE era of the Great American Bash circa 2002, I could say it's pretty much even with what they were doing in 2002 up to this year's Great American Bash. Who knew that Zack Ryder was going to win that Battle Royal featuring all those superstars in the WWE involved in it? Excuse me, CM Punk, Big Show, John Cena. And of course, Zack Ryder eliminating Kane to get his bit of revenge. Excuse me there. But The other Great American Bash events was pretty much okay for the standard. I think Teddy Long did a pretty good job as SmackDown General Manager. But as far as the summertime feel like in the previous bashes from the NWA, no chance. The bashes that the NWA did back in the 80s, starting back, of course, on July 7th, 1985, were all-star studded, action-packed from bell to bell. From 85 with Ric Flair versus Nikita Koloff, to the first concept of the Great American Bash Tour in 1986, where in the end Dusty Rhodes defeated Ric Flair in Greensboro in a cage to win the NWA World Heavyweight title, to 1987, the War Games, the Match Beyond, and so forth and so forth. That particular era of the Bash cannot even compare to this past week's Great American Bash. That is legendary. This week's Bash was ordinary at best, with a little surprise in the end. So basically, has the Bash lost that summertime event feel? Based on all the analysis, I would say yes. I think it's just become an ordinary special on SmackDown now, as part of their SmackDown special around the 4th of July. It's an okay concept now, but it doesn't have that star feel, that bell-to-bell action when it was in the NWA days from 1985 to around 1992. So, my opinion, the Great American Bash has lost that summertime feel, and I don't feel that they're ever going to get that back ever again. Well, that's it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. Glad that you could join us this week. Until next week, everyone, I'm beating the heat wave. I'm staying cool. Stay cool, everyone. I'm Paul the Nitro Skyver saying, so long, everybody.